to Trinity Math Tutors, where mathematics is made easy and brought to your doorstep. We have a very interesting topic to look at today called matrices. Matrices is a very serious topic in mathematics, and it will be made easy today because we'll be looking at certain ways and concepts on how to go about matrix problem. So first of all, we need to understand what matrix is. A triangular matrix is a rectangular array of numbers enclosed by a pair of brackets. So we have numbers enclosed by a pair of brackets. So these are the brackets, and we have numbers inside them. So we have the first one, we have 4, 2, 1, and -3. We have 1/3 and we have 5. For this one we have 8, 6, and this is just 9. So whenever we have arrays of numbers in between a pair of brackets, it's called what? A matrix. And we need to know the order of this matrix. If we look at this is a 2 by 2 matrix. And how do we arrive at 2 by 2 matrix? 2 by 2 matrix. Why? Because vertically we have 2 numbers and horizontally we have 2 numbers. So that's why it's called 2 by 2 matrix. This is called a 1 by 2 matrix because vertically we have just 1 number and horizontally we have 2 numbers, 1, 2. This is called a 2 by 1 matrix because vertically, so you need to consider vertical before horizontal. So vertically we have 2 numbers, which is 8 and 6, but horizontally we have only 1 number, which is 8. This is a 1 by 1 matrix because both vertical and horizontally we have just a single number. This is called a 2 by 3 matrix because we have 2 numbers vertically and 3 numbers horizontally. That's why it is called a 2 by 3 matrix. And finally we have this, which is called a 3 by 3 matrix. So if you check horizontally and vertically, we are having 3 rows and 3 columns. So these are examples of some matrices. So we'll look at types of matrices as well. Number 1 type of matrix is the row matrix. The row matrix. So a matrix that has exactly 1 row. So how do we know what a row is? A row is when a movement is in the horizontal direction. So it's called a row. So when we have numbers in just 1 row, 3, 4, 7, 13. So this is what? A row matrix, because these numbers are just arranged in a row. That's a row matrix. This is called a column matrix. A matrix that has 1 column. So as we can see, in a vertical direction. So where row is considering numbers arranged horizontally, column matrix is considering numbers arranged vertically. So in 1 column is called what? A column matrix. And we also have the zero matrix. The zero matrix. Matrix whose elements are all 0. So there are cases where we can have a matrix or an array of numbers where all the elements are just 0. We call that a zero matrix. Okay. So we look at the other types of matrices. We have the square matrix. A square matrix, a matrix having the same number of rows as column. So when you have the same number of rows equal to the same number of column, then it is called a square matrix. For instance, this is a 3 by 3 matrix. So the number of rows is equal to the number of what? Column. That's a square matrix. We also have the diagonal matrix. So a diagonal matrix is a square matrix whose every element other than diagonal element is 0. So we have several cases of diagonal matrix. So for this, every other element aside the diagonal, when we say diagonal, the diagonal is all the numbers along this side, right? All the numbers along this side is called the diagonal in a matrix. So when all other numbers aside the diagonal are equal to 0, we call this a diagonal matrix. We also have cases where we can have this like this, where you can also have 0 in the diagonal. So basically, diagonal matrix is such that all the numbers here are called the diagonal. This is called the diagonal. So for every matrix you see, just know that right from the left hand side down is considered to be the diagonal. That's what we call the diagonal. The next one is the scalar matrix. The scalar matrix. So a diagonal matrix whose diagonal elements are equal. So when we have a matrix where the diagonal element, and I've told us the position of the diagonal. The position of the diagonal is from left, top left, draw it down. So when we now have all the numbers on the diagonal to be equal, for instance, 4 is equal to 4. This is a scalar matrix. We see this as well. All the numbers on the diagonal are equal, and it's called a scalar matrix. And finally, we have the identity matrix. Identity matrix is saying that it's a diagonal matrix whose diagonal elements are all equal to 1. Diagonal again, diagonal element. The numbers found on the diagonal, when we say they are equal to 1, then it is called the identity matrix. So take a look at this. We have 1, 1, 1. So this is what we call identity matrix. Of course, just as the name goes, identity. All the diagonals are equal to 1. Now we can, if we have all the diagonal equal to 2, all the diagonal equal to 3, it doesn't mean it's an identity matrix. This is specific. It's saying that all the diagonal are equal to what? 1. When we have it either greater than 1, right? Greater than 1, it is called the scalar matrix. Take for instance this one, 2, 2, 2. So this is scalar matrix. It's different from identity matrix. So identity matrix is letting us know that once the diagonal, all the diagonal is equal to 1, then it is called an identity matrix. So we are going to be looking at various questions as regards this in my next video. Kindly do well to subscribe, like, and share this video as well. So just subscribe so that you can know when I release the other video where we solve different problems that relate to matrices. Thank you very much, and hope to see you in my next video.